Crystal Ball College Football, and I have bowl picks for this weekend. I only have 3 of them just because the game slate. And we're going to go through a few more each week, of course. I'll keep you up to date on my favorite picks during bowl season. And then, of course, I'll have a couple more previews, official previews of 2 of the bowl games that I selected for this week. On this week's slate, it's UTSA versus Troy and SMU versus BYU. So stay tuned for those bowl previews later on this week. But let's get into some bowl picks for this weekend. The first one that I'm starting with is actually the first game of bowl season, which is 10:30 a.m. On ESPN on Friday. Miami of Ohio takes on UAB. It's the hometown lenders Bahamas Bowl. This should be a pretty exciting game. UAB is currently an 11-point favorite. The over-under is 44.5. So a lot of people are thinking UAB is going to blow out Miami. This won't be a close one. I'm actually kind of not on necessarily the UAB side in this one. I'm on the over, though. I am on the over. It's only 44.5. I think that's just far too low. Far too low for this game. Dylan Hopkins is a good quarterback there at UAB. Miami has shown a capability to at least score to a certain level. They haven't been great, but in their last 4, 2 of them have gone over this over total, and the last 4 for UAB have gone over this number of 44.5. I think that trend continues. I like UAB to win by around 9 or 10 points, so they're right around that line. But I think this game's going to be much closer to a 30-20 type game instead of a 27-17 or a 24-20 type game. So therefore, I'm taking the over as my first pick for this week. Next up, Cincinnati takes on Louisville in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Louisville, 1-point favorite. Over-under is 41.5. Another fun one. This is an interesting one because you got no Luke Fickell. You got no Scott Satterfield. You have just this new era for both these programs with interim coaches, the battle of the interim coaches. I just think Luke Fickell means more to Cincinnati than Scott Satterfield does to Louisville. And I think that's going to play a big role in this game. We've seen Louisville show flashes at time this year. I think they're pretty talented. They just haven't really been able to put it all together. Cincinnati, on the other hand, I just think they're really well coached this year. I don't think they have the normal amount of talent that they've had in the past. And so for that reason, I like Louisville's ceiling much more. And only a 1-point favorite in this game. Yeah, I'll take Louisville in this one. I do think it'll probably hit the over as well, but my bet here is Louisville -1. I think they're going to win this game fairly easily, but should be fun. Again, battle of interim coaches, kind of one of those games that could go sideways, to be honest, but I'll roll with the talent in this situation. Next up, Marshall versus UConn. Marshall, 10-point favorite. The over-under is 41 points. This is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. UConn, interesting team here. I've been betting them quite a bit this season. They're 5-2 in their last 7. They've really turned a corner, and they've played pretty much every game close since the second half of the season. They got blown out a couple times early, but they were playing some pretty good teams early on in the season. Marshall, on the other hand, they've been a great story. They beat Notre Dame this year. They've won 4 in a row coming into this game. So I do think Marshall's going to win this one. It just seems like they're kind of trending in a better direction than UConn is. But UConn's not going to get blown out here in my eyes. So give me UConn +10. I think UConn will keep this game close. Their defense has been pretty solid all year. Marshall's defense has as well. But I think it'll be rather low scoring. And then I think UConn will keep it close. I think it will probably be a 7 or a 4-point win. 1-score win for Marshall in this one. So that's it. Those are my picks for the first week of bowl week. We're going to have more picks next week they'll get into. But in general, these are some good games. There's a lot of fascinating matchups and really made it tough to make some of these picks. But these 3 I feel the best about during week 1. Stay tuned. Again, I'll be previewing Troy versus UTSA and SMU versus BYU during the weekend slate of bowl games. But thanks for tuning in to Crystal Ball College Football.